try to make this live video work. Sorry, my internet connection is not so good today. Hope y'all doing good. So today we'll be talking about something that is not usually spoken about in the media. So here I am drinking my some tea in my Hello Kitty cup. Very cute, huh? That's just because all of my other cups are dirty. I don't feel like washing them right now. But yeah, let's get into this. Thing I want to talk about today is the difference between what is mainstream, what is new age, what is like the thing, you know what I mean? Like the tendency, no, not tendency. What is the word in English? The new thing, right? So like the new age thing or whatever, mainstream thing, versus or compared with the traditional aspects of the same thing. We see a lot of this is causing a really huge problem, which a lot of people, I would say most people, a large majority of people are not even aware of. Today we're going to be talking about this aspect in the subject of yoga and also spirituality. So let me give you a little example so that you can know what I'm actually talking about. A little example, very simple example, something like attachment. Oh, you should be detached from everything. No, if you're attached, then you're not on the right, you're not on the right thing, and so you have to detach yourself from everything, from no attachment, or another example. Oh, I want to live only in positive energy. Oh, if you're bringing something negative, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Just stay away from me. This is new age. This is not what yoga is. Okay? This is not what yoga is. This is not what Buddhism is. This is not what spirituality is. This is not what all those aspects are that come from Sanatana Dharma. They are not the way things actually are, or even explained, or it's not. So what happened? What happened here? So I'm having a hard time getting into the subject, as you can see, because it's not a simple subject. But for those who know me, I like to touch on subjects which are not spoken about. I like to touch on things and make people aware of things which most people are not even aware of, don't even question them. You see, most people now get their idea of yoga and spirituality from the new age wave that is going on in the world, coming from the West. But that is not what these things are about. So I'm here making this video wanting to clarify the truth from the lies about this subject. Because I see a whole lot of this. I see a lot of well-to-do people or well-intentioned people falling into these traps. There's another example of anger, for example. Oh, someone who does yoga and meditates, or someone who's spiritual, should never be angry, because God forbid, if one time we see that person angry, all of his or her spirituality doesn't mean anything anymore. You see, this is very dangerous. One, it is not true, and I'm gonna tell you why it's not true in a minute. Secondly, it creates this conditioning of the mind, conditioning of society. It also makes people who don't know anything about these things come and like get their information from this mainstream. You know, everything mainstream, I don't like that. I don't like mainstream. I hate mainstream. I hate mainstream news. I hate mainstream science. I hate mainstream yoga. I hate mainstream veganism. I hate mainstream everything. Everything. The mainstream media, the legacy media, the new age. No. Because what these things do, they lose so much from their authenticity. I've had the chance to not be a victim of new age spirituality. Now, for anyone who doesn't know me, they will see me like this with the hair and with this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, this guy's trying to be a guru. He's another new age guy talking about, oh, you should do this, you should do that." That's not me. First of all, I'm wearing this because I don't want to wear any t-shirt because it's pretty hot here, and this is pretty comfortable. Okay, and yeah, I let my hair grow. I don't have any reason to cut it. And that's it. Like, you can see how I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you very naturally. I'm not one of those fake, wanting to look holier than thou or anything like that. I believe everyone is divine, is unique. I believe everyone has beauty and potential, whether you are into the spiritual stuff or not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not about that. Every human being, every living being is worthy. Okay? So, let's get back to this. So I wrote these things down just so I don't forget, okay? So I don't usually write anything down when I make videos. I don't memorize anything, I don't write anything, I don't even prepare anything. I always speak from the source. I connect with the source, something flows through, and it comes out of my mouth. That's all I do. But here I wanted to not waste too much time. I wanted to connect. I wanted to write certain things down so I don't forget about them. So, you see what happens with this new age. There's no name for it, but it's there. There's no name for such situation where certain things are being deviated from their true essence. Like there's no term for that, but we need a term for that. I don't know what the term could be. We can think about it later, but it's happening. It's been happening for a very long time. So you got these teachings, and then just like in the case of yoga or in the case of so there's this new age wave that takes over, and it distorts the essence of that thing, makes it into a whole other thing, and then people start believing that that's what the thing is. So now today you got a lot of okay. Anyway, let me just start getting into this. I did not fall into this trap. Like I said earlier, I was privileged and lucky enough to know this aspect of life, which we call spiritual, not through any books, not through any TV programs. There was no internet at that time, but not even any books, not even any person. I had the privilege to get it straight from the source. Straight from the source. Just from nature. No one told me anything about it. I loved nature ever since I was a little boy. And while spending a lot of time in nature, on the trees, in the grass, with the animals, I felt there was something there, and I wanted to pay more and more attention so I can see what this thing is. And the more I the more I paid attention, the more I realized that that phenomenon was within me as well. Not only me, but every living being, including me. It was only later that I started to hear about these things, about yoga and mysticism and this and that. When family gatherings, in family gatherings, someone would bring something up just as a intellectual exercise. Like, hey, you know what I read about, or you know what I saw on TV, or you know this, that, you know what Hindus do, or these people do, and that's where I started to be like, wow, what are you saying? So I was asking them again, like, can you repeat that? Oh, I don't know much about this. I just know that, for example, this person we call Buddha, this, that. They didn't really have any accurate information, but something touched me. The minute I heard people talk about these things, yoga and Buddhism and everything related, something touched me. Why did it touch me? Because I already had. Why? I don't think it's anything special. For me, it was normal. For me, it was like this is what normal is. This is what a human being is. Like, this is nothing special. I never thought of it as, oh my God, I'm so special. No, it was normal. Because every animal was doing the same thing. Every tree was doing the same thing. Why not human beings? Why can't we just be? You know what I mean? Just be in nature. Because nature is actually the real world. Human beings seem to be disconnected from everything, from the real world. They seem to be disconnected, and from nature, and they think that they're living in the real world. For human beings, the real world is the system, what we call the system, or the matrix, or whatever. You know? And they forget that that's actually the artificial world. The real world is nature. Being in harmony with nature. That does not mean that you should not wear clothes or you should not have any community or society. Animals have communities. Animals have societies. But they're living in harmony with nature. Why aren't we living in harmony with nature just like animals? Because people get this nature thing so wrong. They think whenever someone starts speaking about being natural or being in harmony with nature, that means that you should forget everything and you should just be, archaic or whatever. That's not the case. Nature is a very, very sophisticated and organized phenomenon. It is the law of life. It is what dictates everything, how everything works, how everything finds its place. Seasons come and seasons go, and everything happens in accordance with the seasons, in accordance with the right time. That is incredibly intelligent. You will find incredible intelligence in nature when you pay attention to nature. Nature is not just this, I don't know, this thing that looks beautiful or this like a scenery. No, nature is a phenomenon. It is the source of life. It is the source of life, and nature is where we find the most concentrated amount of consciousness, amount of life. Life is consciousness. The more consciousness you have, the more life you have, the more alive you are, The more conscious you are, the more alive you are. The more alive you are, the more conscious you are, and vice versa. And consciousness is that divine source which everyone calls God. Everyone seems to have personified that aspect as the God. They made him into a character, this consciousness. Consciousness is just like love or intelligence. It's not someone. It cannot be someone. But someone can be love or loving. Someone can be intelligent or the embodiment of intelligence. In the same way, we human beings can become the embodiment of the divine when we allow the consciousness that is all around to pour into us and to awaken the consciousness that is already here to become something more than what it is now. Because we are human beings, we have a capacity to awaken that divine state within us, which makes us divine, which then some would say he's godly or God or goddess or whatever. That's just language. That does not mean what people think it means. That does not mean that now this little person can fly and shoot stars and destroy galaxies. You know what I mean? It's not like that. Anyway, I really hope that the connection here is not cutting, because I'm really hoping to keep this video on my channel after I'm done with it. So I mean, guys, don't hesitate. Please put in your comments if you like. I'm live, as you can see. This is not a recorded video. If you guys have something to say or questions, please, by all means. So let's come back to this. Even when I started reading about what we call today as spirituality, in the direction of Zen Buddhism and other stuff, I always went to the source. I always went to the ancient masters. I never went to some coach, some modern age guru or whatever. It was always the teachings and the writings of the ancient masters. The ancient masters. And what I realized after reading that is that all of it was good, but there was also some times where translation was not right. There were a lot of translation mistakes. And by those translation mistakes, a lot of misunderstandings happened. And these are some of the misunderstandings which became New Age, mainstream, and now they became their own thing, and now they became the thing. Okay? So now, especially in the West, where people are completely disconnected from the ancient masters, from the ancient ways of just directly connecting to the divine without having too much concepts in your head. Too many people have fallen victim to this. So desire, this concept that comes from Buddhism, oh, you should not have any desire. The fact that you don't want to have a desire is a desire. There is no way to live without desire. If you lose all desire, you will cease to exist. Because to live, to be alive, is because there is a desire to live. Every breath you take, there's a desire. If you remove every desire from your life, believe me, you will disconnect from your body. But now, in this new age, we have this desire thing. Oh my God, no, you should have no desire, no desire. You know, I just saw a story earlier about this desire, desirelessness. And I'm like, I just keep shaking my head. I'm like, these people don't know anything about anything. And it makes me sad because it's dangerous. They don't know the original. Okay, so listen. Desire is not the problem. Desire is not the problem. Desire has never been the problem. It is not about you should have no desire and only then you will be at peace. No, then you'll rest in peace. Having a desire is not a hindrance to knowing yourself, to even be like being enlightened, or even just being natural, just being yourself. It's not a hindrance to spirituality. It's not a hindrance to connecting with the divine. It is not. Desire is beautiful. Really detached. That is schizophrenia. If you follow this new age thinking, this mainstream is taking over everything, including yoga and spirituality and all these things, you're going to drive yourself insane. Because you're just going to keep moving in circles. And that's what they want. They're not here to help you. They're not here to show you how to awaken. They're not. They're here to say, oh, we know. We, the mainstream, we, the new age type of thinking, we know better than anyone. The new age and the mainstream ways is a pure narcissistic way of dealing with life. It's based in narcissism. It is. Because they don't even see whether or not they are wrong. For them, everything they say is correct, and then everyone that follows them ends up becoming narcissistic too. Because you're feeding off of something narcissistic. Something which always thinks it's right. Something that does not even question itself. Now you won't question yourself. Now when someone questions you, you will fight them. You think that's spiritual? You think that's spiritual? Just because you're trying to not have any desire or attachment, you think that's spiritual. No one should criticize me. Really? Spirituality is about inviting and welcoming every criticism, even if it's from your enemy. Spirituality was practiced by warriors. It was not practiced by wishy-washy people. Spirituality was not practiced by spoiled people. People who just want to be right the whole time. People who don't want any challenge in life. Spirituality was practiced by the samurai. It was practiced by the warrior monks. It is not a joke. Spirituality was a means to look into the invisible aspect of life, the invisible world, the spiritual world. Because these people were always had one leg in the physical world and the other leg in the spiritual world. Because at any moment they could die, they could lose their body, leave their body. They had to establish themselves in the physical world as well as in the spiritual world. It was not a joke. Now today, the mainstream spirituality is all about, do whatever you want, everything is good. I'm not saying everything is not good, but you know what I mean? Like it's all positive, but it's weak. Because now, instead of dealing with the negative aspect of life and learning how to be an artist in transforming that negative energy into a positive energy, now the mainstream pushes you to run away from anything negative. You become a coward. You run away from criticism. You become a coward. You run away from anything uncomfortable. Anything that challenges your ego, when you should not even be having an ego as such a person on the spiritual path. But you start running away from that. Anything that challenges you and your ego, you run away from that. You become a coward. And you think this is not done on purpose? You think the people on top, who know what's going on in the mainstream and who know what goes beyond the mainstream, you think everything in the system is a diversion. So as long as you depend on how the system sees things and does things, you will never see the difference. and humanity will remain divided. And those on top who want humanity to be divided, because those people are sick. They are not godly. They are not divine. They are not loving. They are not kind. They are not even human. Call them whatever you want. Demons, whatever. Evil people, I don't care. Whatever. Sick people. It all means the same thing to me. Those people are very delighted when they see us divided. They are so delighted when they see us divided. Okay? So they love the distortion. Especially the distortion of something that is meant to free humanity. Like anything spiritual. Like anything, like love. Like I also made a video called The Conspiracy Against Love. I'm actually writing a book about it. Please check out the video. Everything they are doing is to destroy anything that really makes life worth living, that really fulfills a human being to his fullest potential. They are hindering the possibility of enlightenment at all costs. From the food we eat, from the water we drink, from the music we listen to, from the clothes we wear, from the chemicals we're around, from the everything, from the way we speak, from the language, how we use it, from the expressions. Have you ever noticed the expressions that we use, whether it's in English or in any other language? They just somehow seem to just pop up from out of nowhere. Like, yeah, now we say this, like that. Like, who decides these things? Really, who decides these things? And a lot of these expressions I don't even like. Who decides these things? Nobody, right? But someone allows them to become mainstream. You see, that's when the mainstream. It's the mainstream. It's the stream that reaches everyone. It's the mainstream. They want that to be the mainstream. You see, there's already a mainstream, the stream of consciousness, the stream of godliness that is all around. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not religious. Like, this is not a religious discourse. Don't worry. I'm not here to preach any kind of religion. I'm just talking about reality, okay? Because we are so out of touch with reality. So when I talk about divine or godliness, it's not coming from a certain faith. It's just reality, bro. It's just reality. Okay? So there is already a stream of consciousness that brings everything that we need to know. All we have to do is connect with it, is ride that stream, ride the wave, just like a surfer with a wave in the beach. Okay? So desire and attachment is one thing. Yeah, and follow this like spiritual aspects of life. And I've never seen attachment as a problem. Never. You know how many times I've fallen in love? Like, way too many. I don't even remember. Like, I don't even keep count anymore. Since I was a very little boy, okay? And it was never a hindrance to my spirituality. Now, the thing is, and this is where the mistranslation comes in. It's not about attachment being the problem. It's entanglement. And this, Sadhguru also speaks about this. It's entanglement. And one of the things I appreciate about Sadhguru, by the way, is that he clarifies certain things, certain misconceptions that are becoming mainstream. He's one of those people who corrects them. I was doing that even before I knew about Sadhguru, because I also connected myself directly. I did not read these things in a book. I don't have a spirituality coming from a book or coming from like a second hand. It was always direct. Even religion is second hand. Okay? It was always direct for me. The problem is entanglement. You see, you can be attached, willingly attached is beautiful. If you attach yourself willingly, consciously, it's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful relationship. Because now you're consciously there. You have a choice to let go, but you choose to stay. You know what I mean? That is so beautiful. Nothing is ugly about that. Nothing is non-spiritual about that. It is the most beautiful thing. It is the evidence of love. It is the expression of love. I love you, therefore I am attached to you willingly. Attachment is not wrong. Attachment is not against spirituality. What is against spirituality? Only one thing. Only one thing. What is against spirituality and even against life? Because spirituality is life and life is spirituality. You know what it is? Unconsciousness. If you allow yourself to be unconscious, you're not conscious of your actions, of your thoughts, of your behavior. That is when something else takes over you. It is not you anymore who is driving this beautiful machine that we call the human body, the human mind. Something else starts driving you. And you can take this in a metaphorical way, in a literal way. It doesn't matter to me. You are now possessed by a certain ideology, by certain spirits, by certain demonic entities, by certain religion, by certain philosophy, anything. I don't care what it is, but it is not you. It is not you. That is against spirituality. That is the only thing that is against spirituality and against life. That's all we're talking about. Coming back to the consciousness that you are. You are that consciousness. If you lose that consciousness, you lose yourself. Even though you're still here and you're still talking and you move. But we can see a clear difference in how you move, in what energy you give. We can see that, wait, hold on. This is not that person. This is something low taking over this person. This person is not even here. Like, they're not even aware. They're not even there, you know what I mean? They're not even in control. And they're not the ones driving this machine. They allowed the front seat to be taken over by something else, some other force. So it's entanglement. When you are unconscious, you get into entanglement. You know what entanglement means? You know the difference between attachment and entanglement? This is attachment. Entanglement is like, this is entanglement. Now if you're entangled, you want to get out. How do I get out? Should I do this first, that first? That's the problem. Because now you cannot willingly attach and detach. You cannot. Now you become a prisoner. Now you suffer. Buddha never spoke about desire or attachment being the problem. What he was trying to say was being unconscious is what creates the entanglement. But if you're conscious, you are free. Freedom does not mean loneliness. You can't involve yourself with anyone or anything. That's also suffering for me. And I'm pretty sure it's suffering for even the enlightened one and the enlightened ones. It is about, you know what freedom is? I'm free to go towards anything and anyone and to remain there and to create something beautiful there. That is freedom. Willingly. Something divine. Now, without even being aware of it, you are fighting your own divinity. You are fighting the truth. And if you start fighting the truth, you will never win, for one. And two, you will endlessly suffer. Endlessly. Hell, for me, hell is going against truth. If you go against truth, you create your own hell. And you will dwell and burn and suffer through that for eternity. If you know how to harmonize yourself with truth, accept truth, know truth by being aware of truth first, not having this idea, oh yeah, truth is being against this, desire is bad, so that's true. You are aware. You have spent enough time with yourself and in nature to see that everything is one and that there is a fundamental truth, and now you are free from any conclusions in your mind to follow that truth wherever it leads. Now you are in harmony with truth. That is the only heaven. Going against truth is the only hell. There is no heaven and hell after life. That is heaven and hell, right here, right now. That is heaven and hell. Heaven and hell are the states in which you put yourself. If you are in harmony with truth, if you can see truth, if you can know truth, and you are not in resistance, mentally or otherwise, with truth, you will live in heaven. You will be so free and so powerful. That is heaven. If you somehow go against truth because of a certain belief you have, because you follow a certain religion, or because you follow a certain ideology, or because you follow a certain philosophy, or because you're part of the mainstream, and you don't know the difference between what the mainstream gives you and what the reality actually is, and you start to believe that desire is a problem, anger is a problem, that you should be against anger, you should be against desire, you should be against attachment, you should be against whatever, these things, because you follow the mainstream. Now you will live in hell, because now you are not able to even realize that you are in a problem, that you put yourself in a problem. You won't even be willing to look. Am I creating this problem? Did I misunderstand something? You will not even have that capacity to look that, oh my God, I made a big fundamental mistake. I should revise everything from the start. You know how much courage and strength you need to do that? Not everyone has that. Not everyone is that powerful. Not everyone is that willing. Everyone wants it easy. Especially those who depend on the mainstream. Anything that fulfills or satisfies their ego, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. No, it's not true. You want it to be true because it soothes your ego. You see, this is the problem with people who have never been through the path of the warrior. People who have never tasted martial arts. People who have never allowed themselves to be at ease with conflict, with warlike situations. You see, that's where you find, that's the ultimate test for consciousness. It is when you put yourself in that position, in that situation of conflict, either between you and an opponent, or with you and yourself. Everyone is running away from it, and they think that's spirituality. Yeah, run away from anything negative. Oh, anything that makes you uncomfortable is negative. Oh, I should run away from it. That's the mainstream idea of spirituality, and that's what's messing everyone up. And I'm here to fight that, because that's a total distortion of spirituality. Let's move to anger now. Anger. You see how I'm speaking now? You might consider me angry at this point right now. But do I seem unconscious? We're referred to as the angry ones. Shiva, the greatest divinity in Hinduism, Shiva. He was referred to as the angry. He is referred to as the angry one. Bodhidharma, the patriarch of Zen Buddhism. He was always angry, fierce. People misunderstand anger. Again, it is not anger which is the problem. Anger is an emotion. It is an energy. Now, if you have, it's a very powerful, very fiery energy. Now, if you have a very strong or a very dangerous power, and you are not aware of it, now it will destroy you and it will destroy others. It will become dangerous. But if you have that power and you have the responsibility that goes with it, if you have the responsibility and the awareness that goes with it, now you are empowered, because now you have that power. But the one that's holding that power is highly conscious. You know what you can do with such a power if you were conscious? You could awaken civilizations if you wanted to. You can awaken immense amount of people. But the mainstream is going against anger. Oh, if you're spiritual, you should never even yell. You should always speak like this. You should always be smiling. If you see violence in front of you, you should be no, this is not good. And you should, oh, I can't deal with this. It's negative. Let me get away. What is spiritual about that? Please tell me. Nothing. Nothing. If I see violence, I will put an end to it by any means necessary. If someone is violent towards me, I will put an end to it by any means necessary. Even if I have to murder someone who is a threat to my life. This does not make one less spiritual, less godly, less aware. On the contrary, this is not a joke. Spirituality is not for the faint-hearted. But now the new age spirituality is making people think that it's a wishy-washy thing. When you deal with spirituality, you are immediately dealing with death. You are immediately dealing with the afterlife when you are spiritual. And the only way to go to the afterlife is to lose your life here, to lose your body. There's many ways to lose your body. And fighting and danger is one of them. And you have to explore all those aspects of life if you wish to become aware, if you wish to know. You have to explore all those aspects of life. When I was a little kid, when I was practicing martial arts in my first years, I always felt like, why isn't my father, my mother, my teachers, my seniors, my big brother, my uncles, my grandfather, why is no one practicing martial arts? It did not make sense to me. because when you're a little kid, you're very innocent. You don't know that there has been a certain conditioning done to humanity. You come into the world, and if you are sufficiently conscious, even as a little kid, because the conditioning hasn't started on you yet, they have spared you a little bit of that, you know, and you spend a lot of time in nature, so you're very much aware, even at that age. But you're still like, you can't make sense out of like, what are these people living for? What are these people living for? They seem to be living just to eat and sleep, and why? Why aren't you exploring life? Why aren't you exploring life on all its aspects? And why is it when you see me practicing martial arts, suddenly I'm the bad guy? Oh, why do you like to fight? Why are you training to hurt people and hit people? I'm not doing that. I'm disciplining myself. I'm exploring one aspect of life, which is death. One aspect of life which is spiritual and non-physical, which is the essence of our existence. The samurai always saw life as not the real existence. They saw real life begins only when you lose your body. They always welcomed death. Of course, they didn't want to die. They were not looking for it. They were not suicidal. No. But by taking in all the beauty of the world that we live in, they were not afraid to put their other foot in the spiritual world. And they saw a continuity of life into the spiritual world. It was not the end of life like we in the West have been trained to think. And when someone dies in our family, it's always sad when a young person dies prematurely. But when someone has lived a full life and they die, they lose their body, why is everyone sad? Why is everyone crying and depressed? Do you think that person who just left their body, you think they will be happy? You think they will be comfortable seeing how the energy that you're giving them? You must celebrate that they have lived a full life. You should celebrate. You should dance. You should laugh. You should love. You should enjoy life more in honor of that person who just left. But what do? We dwell in sorrow. We cry. I can't talk right now. Really? The person just lived a full life and they died happily. What are you so sad about? Oh, I miss him. Yeah, it's okay. You can miss someone while smiling. You don't have to be miserable. These people don't know anything about life. So, the martial arts is a very important aspect of spirituality. But what did the mainstream do? What did the system do? It divided martial arts from spirituality. Bruce Lee was very physical, very strong physically, but very spiritual. Morihei Ueshiba, O-sensei, the founder of Aikido, was very physical, very strong, but very spiritual. All the great masters of the past were extremely powerful, physically and spiritually. But take a look at today. What do you see in the MMA scene? Do you see anything spiritual there? All you see is battery. You just want to knock someone out. And even that is not enough. They knock him out, he falls down, he's knocked down. And the other guy, you know what he does? He doesn't just stand there and wait for the referee to see if that guy is okay, if he's still alive, if he has any mental or nervous injury or trauma. No, 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 no. That guy who just knocked the other one out goes on top of him and starts beating him even more. Is that normal? It was not something I've been taught in martial arts. And we've been trained to kill. We are trained to know even how to end someone's life if necessary. We've never We never learned any such attitude in martial arts. That's the thing. If you have not practiced martial arts, you will not know the difference. When you practice, you see, there are some things, the only way to know them is to practice them. The only way to know them is to do them. The only way to know them is to be in them. Love is one of those things. If you've never been in love, you will never know what love is unless you fall into it. Martial arts teaches you incredible things about yourself and about humanity as a whole and about life. But you must practice them. You see, yes, I am capable, or I have the knowledge on how to end someone's life, but that does not mean that I have to use it. Just the fact of having that knowledge makes a whole difference on how you approach danger, on how you approach abuse, on how you approach injustice, on how you approach aggression. Because now, in any situation, you know you can do it. It's very different than being in a dangerous situation, not knowing how to stop the danger. Now everything changes. Now you become the complete victim. Now you really become dangerous. Because now survival mode kicks in. Now you're able to be extremely destructive, not only to the other person, but even to yourself. Now you become toxic. Now you become resentful. Now you become very, very resentful. Because now injustice has been done to me. Now I gotta take revenge on everyone, you know? It is extremely dangerous. And that is where the mainstream is moving humanity into. It is extremely dangerous. The system that the Rastafari people have been singing against is the most dangerous thing to human society. Because it is based on an unconsciousness. And it is making people unconscious. And it is turning every deep and worthwhile thing onto its head, making it the opposite of what it actually is. As we said, with attachment and desire and all these things, and anger. Another thing is veganism. You see, and these mainstream things, you can see it a lot in American society, because that's the society that's kind of ruling the whole world. dictating how everyone should live and think, including us here in Morocco, because people are just slaves, you know. Like I said, if you don't take control, if you are not conscious of yourself, if you are not awakened, something else is gonna come and take over you. Today, it is extremely important that every man, woman, and child be enlightened. Because now, if you are not enlightened, something will take over you. The ideology, the mainstream thought, the anything, take over you. And at that time, nothing can save you. Nothing can save you from yourself. Nothing. You will kill yourself with your own self. You will drive yourself crazy by yourself. You won't need any exterior, any outer enemy. You will be your own best enemy. Now this thing called veganism came into the scene. Let me tell you, I've been plant-based since a very young age. Well, reasonably. Not a very young age, but I was like 18, around 18. I became plant-based, but I was still eating fish, and I still eat fish to this day. I'm not completely plant-based, but I stopped eating red meat. I stopped eating chicken to a large extent. And dairy, I later stopped as well. And that's how I got rid of my asthma, which the doctors said it was impossible for me to heal. But only after 1 week of stopping dairy in 2007, I had no more asthma whatsoever. I was going to die on at least 2 occasions from my asthma attacks. This was when I was a teenager. I was 14, 15, 16, you know? I saw death in front of me. Many times, not just these 2 times, but yeah. A very awakening experience. Near-death experience. Very awakening. And I was plant-based because I've discovered it from getting into knowing about the Sanatani or Buddhist way of life, Hindu way of life, animistic way of life, all these ways of life, you know, that we call Sanatani or Sanatana Dharma, or the eternal law, which are very different than the Abrahamic faiths. Sanatani is based in the eternal law of the universe. It is not a belief, it is not a doctrine, it is just anyone who is religion-less, philosophy-less, indoctrination-less, will come to this realization on their own accord. Because that's what is the case. There is a universal consciousness, a universal law, and it is up to us to ride in harmony with it. This has nothing to do with what's written in a book or some prophet bringing you some message from God. Nothing. This is just the natural order of things. And that's the tradition that I belong to. Veganism. So, okay. I was plant-based. Became plant-based little by little. I started trying when I was 16. The first time I remember I ate only, I got full only with fruits or only with, you know, some nice steamed vegetables or something. Nicely seasoned. I remember how amazing my nervous system felt. And of course, I did not know these terms. I did not know. I just felt so happy. That's the only thing that came to my mind. I felt so calm. I felt so peaceful. I felt so, just so ecstatic, so joyful. Or how the Rastas say, I felt so airy. And for the first time in my life, I just wanted to love everyone. When I said this to people, physically calm about something, I was just extremely peaceful. I felt my nervousness went down. I was not thinking about anything. I was not even thinking about, oh, I did not eat any animals. Yay. No. This is a vegan thing. This is a mainstream thing. See, so now we're coming back to the mainstream thing. This is what the mainstream makes it. The mainstream took this truth that a human being is meant to live on a plant-based diet, flipped it around on its head, and made it about, oh, you should not kill the animals, man. That makes me so sad. Oh, shit, I can't see that shit. It is extremely sad what we've done to humanity. Being plant-based has never had anything to do with saving. And listen, we love the animals, man. But we also recognize that death is part of life. You should make peace with that. What we were talking about earlier, about the martial arts and the killing and everything, it is part of life, man. Death is not the end of life. But listen, now you got these vegans who make everything about their feelings. Now they want to fight you for eating meat because now they want to make you into someone who doesn't care, who doesn't give a damn about animals. Now, and again, narcissism again coming in. Now they're better than you. Now they think they're better than you because now they don't contribute to the suffering of animals like you do. So now they're morally superior than you. See? Ego. Again. Ego. Inflation. Mainstream is always based in ego inflation. It takes anything, like all these things that we mentioned, the yoga, the spirituality, the veganism, everything, flips it on its head and makes it into what? Ego inflation. Now veganism is not about, hey, you know what? I'm in harmony with nature. I'm calming my nervous system down. My consciousness is rising. Now I'm clean from the inside. I'm not polluting my body with such corpses, you know? My body is comfortable. My bowel movements is comfortable. I feel light. I feel younger. I can live longer. I have more energy. My nervous system is so comfortable. I'm capable to love, to give all the love that I have in me to humanity. It's not about that anymore. The mainstream made the plant-based diet into the veganism of a religion of we are better than you because we don't kill animals. You see what they did there? I've never considered myself a vegan or even a vegetarian, or like in the sense of these mainstream people who go around and try to convince people that they're better than you because they don't eat meat. That's not what makes someone better than you. You can be someone who eats meat every day, but you can be better than someone else who does not eat meat. Because you're honest with yourself. You know, yeah, I eat meat. I know that. So, I mean, I like it, and it's for you. You are the animal that needs saving first. Okay? Before you try to make yourself morally superior than everyone, oh, because I saved the cow and I saved this and that. That's so stupid, man. That's so childish. The one animal you should be concerned about saving is yourself. So first of all, be honest with yourself. Are you following a diet which is serving your biological needs. If you're living in a place which doesn't have any vegetables and fruits and all these things, you are obliged to eat meat to survive. Okay? And if you don't, you're an idiot. But at the same time, are you eating for your well-being, or are you eating for some other reason? So if it's for your well-being, then naturally you're going to lean towards a plant-based diet, because the more plant-based you eat, the better you will feel within yourself, body, mind, energy. That's what a human being naturally feels comfortable with, eating a plant-based diet. So now you are doing this animal a favor. And if you're somewhere where you only have meat to eat, you are obliged to eat meat at that time to serve this animal as well. Because this animal that you are is the priority. Because if this one dies, then that's it. Your life is over. So you always prioritize yourself when you eat. It's just natural. It's not like an ego thing. But of course, by prioritizing yourself, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. I'm saying prioritize yourself in terms of survival. Now, once this one is, the survival aspect is taken care of, now you have the privilege and the Lakota and all those Native Americans. They eat meat. They ate meat. They killed, but they also respected the animals. Now, this can seem very contradictory to a modern mind, a mainstream mind, but it's not. I respect the animal, and I only kill what I need to eat. I don't become destructive. I don't become a virus on the planet, killing everything just because I enjoy killing. I don't enjoy killing, but I would do it in order to survive, because that's what we do. Plants are alive. And you see, this is another thing. This mainstream thing that we call veganism today, they don't believe that plants are alive. Talk to any vegan today. These mainstream vegans who are all about they're morally superior than everyone else because they don't eat meat, Tell them that plants are also alive. They will fight you to the death. They will say, they will say, what? Plants are not alive. That's a lie, blah, blah, blah. But plants are alive. I eat plants, and I know that plants are alive. And I know that I kill plants when I eat plants, okay? But that's just the way it goes, man. It should not make you suffer. It should not make you, it should not make you fight yourself. It should not make you fight yourself. It should not. Life and death is the breathing in and the breathing out of existence. What do these vegans want to do? Because if you follow these vegans' mindset, you're going to become unrealistic to the point where you're going to want to even deprive the lions and the tigers and the wolves from eating and from hunting animals to eat. I swear to God, if these crazy vegans had a way to make a substitute food and give it to the lions, they would do it. Just so that the lions won't kill any more gazelles, any more animals. But then they will be disrupting the order of life, the order of nature, the natural order of life. Because those animals are meant to hunt. That's what they were created for. And we, human beings, are not as smart, as intelligent as the source, as the divine. Or you can call it God. That source knows everything even before we come up with something. That source knows these animals have this duty. These are scavengers. These are hunters. These are herbivores. They eat the plants. Everything creates. That's what it takes. Something that was good, like plant-based food, plant-based diet, which is excellent for a human being. They turned it on its head and made it into an emotional thing. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't watch the lion kill this gazelle. What the fuck, man? But that's just that. Oh my God. You see, it creates a very big problem. And they start going through depression and stuff. It's not a joke. There is a beauty in going and being in harmony with nature. Whether that nature is chaotic or peaceful or anything, there is immense beauty and immense truth and immense awakening. You see, a lot of people think because I'm plant-based, they think I'm like those vegans. I think this is the first time where I talk about it in public. About the difference about these things. This is how important these things are. Because the mainstream made us think that everything is the same. Oh, you eat plants-based? Oh my God, you're like the vegans. I had friends tell me this. Friends in my martial arts circle tell me this, okay? They don't know shit about me. They see me not following religion? Oh my God, so you're an atheist? Oh my God, yeah. This is the fault of the mainstream. It put everyone in one category or the other. If you eat this way, you belong to this category, the vegans. If you do yoga, you belong to this category, the ones who are so afraid of negativity and they don't like fighting and they're against desire and anger and attachment. You see the problem. This is the big problem, man. Now we come to feminism. Feminism. Yeah, feminism. I don't even like saying that word, bro. Fuck. Feminism. I despise feminism so bad. But the thing is, again, now we're going to speak about the reality and then the mainstream. Reality is that life has two aspects, masculine and feminine. There's man, there's woman. And even within us, as men and women, there is masculine and feminine energy. And the aspect of nature, day and night, sky and earth, dry and wet, hot and cold, everything, up and down, is, the yin-yang, the yin and the yang of existence. So yin and yang, you see that circle, the black and white, it is not purely black and it's not purely white. Even the black part has a little white in it, and the white, even the white part has a little, the black part has a little white in it, and the white part has a little black in it. A man is masculine, beautiful in his masculinity, powerful. But he is not a real man if he has no femininity within him. A woman is beautiful, gracious, so full of femininity, beauty, grace, tenderness, love, affection. But she is not a true human being or a true woman without a little bit of masculinity. You see, we all, whether we're man or woman, if we're men, yes, be established in your masculinity, but don't disconnect yourself from your femininity. Your femininity does not mean that you should be a woman. It means that you should have a son. The same thing. She is established in her femininity. But if she's pure tenderness and nothing else, if she's not able to stand up for what is right and speak truth, defend justice, defend someone who's weaker, just by any means that she can, if she does not have some fire of the masculine in her, some courage, some strength, it is not a real woman. You know what I mean? It is not a real human being. It is something else. So, a long time ago, the mainstream of the past wanted to make men purely masculine and the woman purely feminine. And then, of course, there was a lot of clashes, because how can a man and a woman come together if neither one of them has a little aspect of the other? You definitely need a little aspect of the other, or else you will not be able to connect. So when man and woman started to come together, and love started to flourish in the world and in society and in people's lives, now the mainstream, the modern mainstream, has made it its mission to completely destroy the capacity of coming together between man and woman. Hence, feminism, transgenderism, LGBT, all this nonsense. And don't come attacking me. And I don't give a damn if you come attacking me because I say these things. I don't care. I really don't. It'll just fuel me even more to talk about these things more, because these things has to be talked about. So just like we mentioned all the other aspects, this aspect is also being distorted by the mainstream, by the system, by the new age way of doing things. And I see a lot of people falling victim to this. Even so-called yogis and yoginis and yoga teachers and, like high-level people. Supposedly, for me, they're not high-level. But you know what I mean? Like mentors and coaches and all these things that are supposed to help people with their lives. These people now, because life needs a feminine force, nature is feminine, the survival aspects of life is feminine, the 3 lower chakras that we have is feminine. So now they get in touch with the divine, so the feminine aspects of the divine, Now they tie that with feminism. Now there's no difference for them between that and feminism. That is complete madness. Because what feminism does is not put people back in a harmonious, divine, feminine connection. It does not. We all know feminism today, even a long time ago, it was a movement that fought against masculinity. The feminine aspect of life needs the masculine aspect of life, and vice versa. You see, in life, the law of life, the law of existence, and when I say existence, I'm talking about the physical existence, like what we are now, as you can see, yourself, and you know, it 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 belongs to the law of duality. If there's no man, there can be no woman. If there's no woman, there can be no man. If there's no night, there can be no day. If there's no, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a dance between this, the feminine and the masculine. The dance between the two is what is creating life as we know it. It is the dance between the Shiva and the Shakti, the Ida and the Pingala. All these aspects, the left and the right, the swaying from here and there, is what creates the magic that we call life and existence as we know it. Feminism comes and breaks that harmony and says, no, we have to, like women. It's about women, Men did this to us and did that to us and did this to us. It's women. Where's the harmony now? Where's the harmony now? You completely destroy the harmony between the two forces, the two dualities of existence, and you play on the emotions of people. And I know that there has been a lot of abuse, not only on women, but on anyone who is weaker. Anyone who is weaker has been abused. That is unjust. That should be dealt with, certainly. But now they play on the emotions of people, and in this case, women. Women, don't you see what men did to you? Men always chose how you should wear, what you should do, who you should marry, blah, 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 blah. They're the enemy. Power to the woman, come on. That's feminism. And then, oh no, we're not here to do. You see the results? No coming together between man and woman. No coming together between... There's no possibility of love anymore. There's no possibility of communication. So, combine this with every other thing, because this is not the only problem, but we're talking about this for now. And now it's not about the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together. Now it's about, I am a woman and I'm better than you. That's what it's become about. Now it's not about the harmony between the feminine and the masculine anymore, like it was traditionally or how it's supposed to be naturally. Now the mainstream, feminism is a mainstream creation. Is a system creation. Femininity is not a system creation. It's just knowing what femininity is and taking care of it in that way. Now, feminism actually destroys femininity. It makes women into men. It makes women act like men. And what I mean by that is it makes them very rigid, very angry, a lot of masculine energy that will destroy the femininity that you have, because femininity is delicate. Femininity needs protection. For the feminine to survive and to thrive, it needs the protection of the masculine. It needs the protection of the masculine. But now, feminism, the movement of feminism, it claims to be for the woman and for the welfare and the well-being of women by auto-destroying your own femininity so that you don't consider yourself weak anymore, so that you can become tough and you can fight the man who did this to you and that to you. But by doing that, you destroy yourself as a woman, as a feminine force in the world. You see? You see how completely alien to what it was originally. And this tactic, very important to be aware of this tactic that they use. Very important. They always use it. They did it with yoga. They did it with spirituality. They did it with women's rights, with black rights, with BLM, Black Lives Matter. They did it with everything. They did it with everything, and they are going to keep doing it. Believe me, with everything else that's about to come, and we should be very, very careful. So you have to be aware of this thing. I don't know. I'm going to try to come up with a term of this about this for this, but you see, it is very, very, very incredibly dangerous what they are doing. And they are playing on the emotions of people. Because when you play on the emotions of people, like they do with women, for example, or any group that has suffered some kind of abuse, you see what they did? See, they're the problem. Okay, it awakens a lot of trauma within that person. And now the person is ready to take revenge. Now the person is resentful, hateful, spiteful. You know? Now the possibility of harmony is lost. And if you and now it's going to be a constant fight between this party and that party. No coming together, no harmony. Because two different forces can work together and should work together. That's how it works in the universe and in nature. In our bodies too. But now the mainstream, what it's doing is that it's creating this false idea that anything contrary to you is your enemy and you have to fight it. If everything in creation was following this mentality, then our cells would fight together. Our bodies, our biology would fight with itself. Night will fight with day, and day will fight with night. The sun will fight with the moon. The water will fight with the land. Well, I don't have to tell you what the result of that will be. You can already see from your own intelligence, you can know. If that were to happen, everything will be finished. Everything will be finished. But now, the relation between man and woman is being finished more and more. Because they've done that on a man and woman level. They've done that on a man and woman level. And they're going to keep doing that. And we have to wake up from that. We have to stop this foolishness. Man and woman have to come together. We are both human beings, after all. We are both human beings from the same human species. We have differences, certainly. Energy-wise, biologically, of course. And we have different roles in life, certainly. Even though many things we can do the same. But certain things we cannot. Certain things only women can do, and certain things only man can do. That is the reality, and that should not make you feel bad at all. That should make you feel happy. I wouldn't want to do the things that a woman is better placed to do. She's better placed than me to do. I would be happy if she can come and do it for me, instead of me having to do it. Just like I'm sure she would be happy and delighted that a man can take care of certain things that a woman can't do, or may have a very hard time to do. And it's not even worth it to fight, to try to prove to the other that, yeah, I can do it too. If you can do it too, good. But you don't have to. Now, it's crazy. Now we have men who I can't even believe I'm saying this. Now we have men who can get pregnant, give birth. Okay, you proved that you can do it, but we already have a woman who's naturally capable of doing it. Why are you going through so much trouble to do what another person is meant to do naturally? Yeah, woman. Yeah, I'm a woman. Yeah, I'm a woman, but I can be as tough as a man, and I can build a house too, and I can do hard manual labor. maybe you can do it too. But why would you do it when you already have a man who is naturally stronger than you, who can do it for you, and who would be happy to do it for you? Huh? Why? This is madness. I appreciate the passion, but it's unnecessary. Stay in your place. Your place is beautiful. Your place is necessary. While I'm doing the hard labor and all these things that a man can do better than you, I need you to be doing the things that you can do better than me. That's how we create harmony. That's how we create harmony in life between man and woman and between everything else in existence. Harmony is the key word here. Harmony. Reality deals with harmony. Mainstream deals with disharmony. It takes everything that is meant to create harmony and it creates disharmony from it. And it is the thing that is destroying the world, destroying humanity, destroying nature, destroying life, destroying relationships between man and woman and between human beings as a whole. Destroying the relationship between the seniors and the minors, juniors or whatever. Now there's a huge generation gap. A long time ago, mature people and little kids or, they were in touch. The children were taking lessons, life lessons from people older than them. There was a harmony. Yes, this one is older, I'm younger, but you know what? He has more experience. I can befriend him. I used to have friends when I was a teenager. I used to have friends who were 30 years, 40 years old. Even 50. Really good friends. And I would hang out with them. And I was 14 or 13 or whatever. And we would just hang out and talk. And I would learn so much from them. Today, if you try to do that, oh, you're a pedophile. Oh, you just want to have sex with them. How did we get so sick? How did we get so distorted? It's because we allowed ourselves to be fooled by the mainstream. We allowed ourselves that. And no one is to blame but us. Because we've allowed that. Well, not only us, but the mainstream takes hold of a human being before the human being is able to think for themselves. In that case, it is not the fault of the human being or the child. It is the fault of the mainstream and the adults who are not aware enough to know better. But anyways, this is not about pointing fingers at anyone. This is just an urge to know the difference and to become aware of these things. To become aware that there's a difference between something when it's in its natural state and when the mainstream picks it up. And when the mainstream picks it up, it makes it into a complete toxicity for humanity. While at the same time, clothed in that image of what it's supposed to be. But inside, it's something else. And we see it in human beings too. Today's human beings have become that too. Now we see girls, for example, who look extremely beautiful. Extremely loving. They look because when you see a beautiful woman, at least for men, when men see a beautiful woman, a long time ago, when we used to see a beautiful woman with a beautiful smile and a beautiful eyes and beautiful, wow, she just takes you into her energy. You just feel so, you just feel love and tenderness, and you just wanna soak in that energy. Now when you see women like that, those are the women that will hurt you the most, who are the most merciless, who are the most cold. So now she's showing, like, there's this image of love, but inside there's pure hate, pure coldness. This is what mainstream does to everything, not only to women, not only to men, and even the men, happens to them too. And this is all happening because of what? One thing: unconsciousness. If this unconsciousness can awaken and become consciousness, everything will fall into place. All these problems will disappear. Because that's the only problem that's going on, is the unconsciousness. We have allowed ourselves to become unconscious. For what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's cool to be unconscious because there are some things that you cannot do when you become conscious. And when you cannot do those things, now you look boring to people. Now you look like, oh my God, he can't. It's not that he can't. He just doesn't. He doesn't have the need to do them. He doesn't have the need to drink. He doesn't have the need to go and bang his head to loud music all night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now the person looks boring. But we're not boring. We just know better. And yeah, the mainstream is not supporting people like us. But we don't support the mainstream, and we know the mainstream is destructive. And we only follow the dictates of the divine, the dictates of that which created everything. Not through a book, not through belief, through direct living experience, existence, reality. You see, the divine is a reality. It is not a religious concept. It is a living reality within each and every one of us. When consciousness within you begins to awaken, that's the divine working within you. Because you are it is an aspect within you. Another aspect is ego and all these things that we call the fake self, the whatever, the conditioned mind. All these are aspects. The body is one aspect of us, okay? But to be fully alive, to be fully you, to be fully free, awaken that consciousness which you are. Don't be afraid and don't be ashamed to go against society every now and then. Society is not always right. The mainstream is definitely not right. Not always right. Especially now. Maybe at one point we had another kind of mainstream which was more honest. I'm sure there was. But now, that's not the case. It is not the case. So by being aware and by being conscious, you will know when to follow, when to be okay with what the mainstream is giving, and when not to be okay. You see? You don't put yourself in this position or that position. I'm always for the mainstream or always against the mainstream. No, but you conduct yourself consciously. That is the key. That is the goal of life. As a living human being, you have to be driven by consciousness, not by unconsciousness. Because if you're driven by unconsciousness, anything the mainstream throws at you, it will condition you to do that. The system will condition you. The society will condition you to do anything that serves someone else, that does not serve your ultimate nature, your connection with the divine, which is the source of your life and of your happiness and of your health and of your love and of your joy and of everything that is worthwhile to live for in life. So this was just a little talking about bringing this to people's awareness as to how the new age stuff that we see going on, it is not by accident. It is not just because it's the thing of the day. There's always a hidden motive behind it. So I hope that those hidden motives have been clarified to you by watching this video. If you haven't been following from the beginning, don't worry. This video will be posted on my Instagram and on my Facebook. So you can watch it again and again. And I hope that the connection was stable and that no part of this video was cut off. Okay? So, yeah, that's what I was here to talk about, and I think I've covered everything. If not everything, but most of it, to the best of my capacity, or to the best of, like every time we speak about these things, we kind of allow ourselves to connect with the source, and the source inspires us and gives us strength and gives us power to move us to do the right thing. So, because a human being, it is very hard for a human being to go against the current. But once you go with the current, not the current of society, not the current of this or that, but the divine current of existence, because there is a divine current, there is a divine force. Certainly there is, and it's beyond belief. It's not even a matter of whether you believe in it or not. If you know the science of spirituality, if you know how to connect yourself to the energies of the universe, then these things flow naturally. In your speech, in your movement, in your eye contact, in your singing, in your writing, in everything that you do in your life. And it's very beautiful, it's very graceful, and this is what I offer to the world through my videos and through my speeches and through everything that I do. Everything that I create, I offer it as an offering to humanity and to the world, and that's all. That's what I can do. You're not married or whatever. We should all aspire to this. That's what a human being is. A human being is technology best suited to receive the divine energy, the divine source, and also to awaken the divine source within us, and to become a vessel for wisdom, for love, for truth, for justice, for peace, for happiness, for joy, for bliss, for all these things that are ascribed, all these things that are descriptions of God, the divine. These are also human aspects that we can awaken within us. When we do, it is as though we have awakened God Himself within us, or Goddess herself within us. Same. God and Goddess should both awaken within us. So thank you very much.